I wanted to share some organizational tips for those of you that do special events and work with bands that rotate musicians. And these could be the corporate gigs or cover gigs that have a large repertoire or events. I run a charity event in New York City called Blues on Twos, where a bunch of really wonderful New York City musicians get together. We play a bunch of old classic blues tunes. We raise money for a charity, and we hang out and we have a lot of fun. And in order to do this, we don't rehearse or anything. Everybody's getting on stage and just kind of playing the material for the first time. Some people have heard the song, some people haven't. Well, I like to have charts for everybody on stage, and the singers I usually provide links to because they do need to hear the music before they get on stage, right? So I create an Excel spreadsheet, and it's going to have the song, the artist, an audio link, and I always use YouTube. Don't use Spotify or Apple or anything. Not everybody is subscribed to those forms of music streaming, so I like to use the YouTube because everybody has access to YouTube. And then I also create a chart link, and I make charts for all the songs, and I often make lyric sheets too. And I'm still working on this document, so I would have a couple of more columns over here. One for I'd actually break it down the instruments and have links for bass, for guitar, for drums, and for lyrics, so the musicians could click on the file that they need, and if they need to check it out beforehand. And there definitely is some music, particularly in, like, if you're dealing with corporate events, wedding bands, or you play various kind of corporate parties. It's important to be able to access the songs easily. I also have the songs in alphabetical order, right? I'm going to go through all the songs we've done through this Blues on Twos charity, which we've been doing for quite a long time. So we actually have a lot of songs to be included in this, and I've always charted everything. So just collecting the charts from different places, which is its own challenge in tracking that down from over 10 years of doing an event. This really helps a lot because one thing that slows musicians down when they're getting ready to do a gig and prevents them from doing as well is just the clerical aspect of it, right? The organization, finding the songs, finding the chart, and referencing the right song. There's some of these songs and classic songs that have 3 or 4 different versions of it, and it's possible that there's subtle differences in the arrangements. So you can end up on a gig and you've learned the wrong version, and you have to adjust. It's either in the wrong key or there's key form differences, right? So I find that if you approach it this way, everybody's coming from the same starting places, which is really important. And I've done some for hire gigs that were more event type gigs where it's been really messy and they just give you a song list. You don't even know which version. I've had some people give me songs with no artist name, and if you go on any of these streaming websites, you'll find that there are several artists that have the same name for the song, so that could be confusing. Make it easy for the musicians that have to play for you. It's always worth it to have a great chart. I'm just going to show you. Well, first of all, if I just click on one of these links here, let's go to Black Coffee here, and immediately it's going to take me to this YouTube link, and it's going to open it up, right? This is the Sarah Vaughan version that we're referencing. But not only that, I'm going to come over and I'm going to hit the chart, and I have each of these charts stored on Dropbox, right? So there's a specific link. I'm not sending it to a folder with all the files in it so people have to sift it. Easier is better. The musicians will perform and they'll have a better time, and they'll be less frustrated if you make it as easy as possible for them to just make music and get good at the music. The more they have to struggle with organizing and learning material, finding the right version, it's the less time that they put in the music, and it'll be sloppier. So make it easy, make it fun for everybody. This is really what separates a great musical director and a great musical experience from one that just is not very successful or doesn't feel good, right? So every one of these links in this charts file goes to a different Dropbox page, right, which has the chart on it. And I do this for every song, right, and every instrument in the song. Now, it may take a while to get it set up at first because obviously it could be quite a bit of files, but if you're dealing with 150, 200 songs for an event or something, it just Oh god, it makes it so much better. It's just so much more organized. Now you could use another service other than Dropbox, but I would say make sure that it is something that people can access without having to pay. And Dropbox does have a free account where, for such small files like this, they'd be able to access them. So they have to sign up for free, but it is accessible. And be wary about where you're placing files or where you're sending people. And recently, I had somebody send me a file, and it was in a form that I couldn't access, and that was really frustrating to learn for the gig, and I spent way more time than I would like to trying to just crack that problem, right? Yeah, and as I said, alphabetical order, and I'm going to go down through this through multiple pages, and then we do usually print this out as a PDF, or you could just send it as a PDF, in other words, so that they could just click on the links. Anybody who's going to join you on the gig, they could check the song out beforehand, get a good look at the score and see what's going on, and they could print copies if they need to and be organized, and they show up to the gig, and it's great. And if things don't go well and they're not prepared, you can't say it wasn't because you didn't make it easy for them and give them all the materials that they needed. If you're digging the content on this page, please subscribe to my channel. I also run a website called anatomyoftone.com. You could find a lot of other articles on there about various aspects of music and playing and tone and composition, right? Please like this video.